Okay, so you might be hearing some music in the background. I live in a house with 5 other people, so very rarely do I have a chance to live in silence. So I do my best. I try and catch the times where it's quiet here. This is gonna be just another talking. I posted my first video and I'm okay with it. I guess the ending got a little messed up. That's my fault. I'm still trying to figure out the editing and whatnot. But I also have this piece of foam that I mentioned. I'm gonna use it in this video. But in the last audio I discussed this true crime, or just this crime that I'm watching on Netflix, and I thought I'd continue the discussion into the creepy, scary, I guess darker conversations. And this is actually relevant to something that happened recently to me. I live with my boyfriend in his mother's house, and his whole family is actually very connected to otherworldly things, such as like ghosts and demons and whatnot. And I personally have never experienced anything until I became part of this family. Because I don't know, just my whole life I've always believed in things like ghosts, but I've never seen anything or felt anything. But any story that I've ever heard, I've believed it. So when I met my boyfriend, he said that, when he was younger, there was a few incidents in his house, or not in this house, but in previous houses. One of those stories being that he was playing hide and seek with his siblings, and he hid under the bed, and somebody started jumping on the bed, so he thought he was caught. And then when he came out, he told his siblings, like, well, why didn't you, tag me if, they were playing hide and seek? So he's like, why didn't you tag me? You knew where I was, you jumped on the bed. And then his siblings were like, none of us were jumping on the bed. So that's something that has happened to my boyfriend. And, you know, just other things happened in the house, like chairs moving, lights turning on, stuff like that. And then my boyfriend says that ghosts are in fact the reason that they moved out of that previous house. And since being in this house, even more things have occurred. I wouldn't say like more things have occurred, but there's more activity. Like I wouldn't say like comparing the houses, like I would just say the activity has continued to happen over here. And a few of these things I have seen, or just one of the things his mom showed me, every single door, every single cabinet door downstairs in the kitchen was open. So, and nobody was home. Like we had all, or she had come home, and every single cabinet was open, and nobody had been home all day. So, you know, things like that. There was actually one night that we went to the movies, and this was when they were first telling me about all of their experiences and all of the, you know, they think that something's following them. And then that night, we have this like very heavy box that we keep under the computer desk. It's just a box filled with like junk, but it's very heavy and it's not easy to move whatsoever. And in the middle of the night, he wakes me up and he says, "Did you move this box?" And then I just immediately shoot out of bed, and I'm just like, I did not. Like, I knew exactly what box he was talking about. I had been asleep the whole night. I'm not the type of person to sleepwalk, or, you know, I don't have anything like that. Like, I don't get up in my sleep and do things that I'm not aware of. Like, that is never something that's happened to me. So I knew consciously I didn't do it, and I knew unconsciously I wouldn't have done it. So it was just very freaky, like, you know, and seeing the box, like, so it wasn't just scooted away from where it usually was, like it was pushed all the way to the right, and there's no way the cat could have done it. Like, it just absolutely was something else that moved it, and that was just that frightened me. That was very scary, and I did not go back to sleep that night. I just stayed up the rest of the day. So, the box moving was pretty much the only thing that happened to where I was involved and I saw it. I mean, I didn't see it happening, but I was like one of the witnesses. Until just recently, this is the second time incident, I guess, that something just something odd occurred. Granted, we were definitely asking for it. We had a Ouija board. I've never played with a Ouija board. I've always been told not to, because you never know who you're playing with, who you're inviting. But I trust his mom, and I trust that she knows what she's doing, and she kind of has this connection with the spirit world, and she's comfortable with that aspect of life. And I felt like she was a good guidance for us, I guess. So what ended up happening is we're playing the Ouija board, and we're asking it questions. So we're asking, like, what's your name? Who are you? Why are you here? Things like that. And at first it said that its name was Amanda, and it was a 7-year-old girl. And my boyfriend's brother a few nights ago said that he heard a little kid's footsteps running out of his room. So we were all convinced that this must be that little kid, Amanda, because she said she's 7. And then Amanda said, I think we asked, like, is there anyone else with Amanda? And it said yes. So we asked who, and it's this, his mother says that it's this demon, and it's a demon that is connected with the Ouija, and that this demon has been haunting them for a while, and this demon likes to mess with them. So, we were asking the board questions, like, why are you here? Do you want to hurt any of us? Things like that. And it was, it was giving confusing answers. But some of it was just kind of like too weird and too spooky for me to not think that it's something, like, of course, when you're playing the Ouija, everybody has their fingers on it, and you think, like, oh, somebody else is moving it. I know I'm not moving it. So, everybody has their finger moving the little thing across the Ouija board, and it's kind of natural to believe that somebody else is pushing it, but you're just very lightly touching it. And I'm telling you, like, the way this thing moved, like, if all of us were just lightly touching it, the way it moved was, like, impossible. Like, it would just go so quickly to yes or no, and it just didn't make any sense. But the part that, like, I guess confirmed to me that there was something there was that we said goodbye on the board, and then just 1 second later we hear something fall down the steps, just like a tiny little dink dink dink, like, fall down like the last 2 or 3 steps, and then rolled. And his mother went to go see what it was, and it was a Christmas ornament, and we have a small tree upstairs, but the cats don't mess with it because it's up on this table, and it's like around the corner from the stairs. So even if the ornament had just fallen by itself, there was no way it would have rolled all the way to the stairs. And also, like, when it came down the steps, it didn't roll down each step. It distinctly, like, only hit the last few steps, which to me means that the ornament had to have been lightly tossed and then just land at the bottom few steps. And I'm not even joking, like, this was just a minute or a few seconds after we had stopped playing with the board. So it was just, it was unreal. And like I said, I've always believed in that type of thing, but I've never personally experienced anything. But now I guess I can say I can. I still haven't, seen an entity or felt anything. But I've just seen things unexplainably move. And like, to me, that's enough. Like, I am a believer, so that's just enough for me. So that's my little ghost story, I guess. Thank you for listening. And maybe I'll look into more of, paranormal, spooky things to talk about, because this is one of my favorite topics.